So what I want to talk about today is setting goals for 2019. A lot of people have New Year's resolutions, and before I came up here, I looked up, and did you know that 80% of New Year's resolutions do not make it past February 1st? So who in this room has done or attempted to have New Year's resolutions? Raise your hand. Almost everybody. And if you're not, I'm not sure if that's good or bad. At least you're not under the stat. So today I'm going to talk about how you can get past that February 1st cutoff. How you can be that 20% that makes it past, and maybe even one of the few that actually makes it towards December 31st. And then you get to replan for next year. So I'm going to be talking about how to set goals. And the first thing about goal setting is you can't set goals without a plan. So I'm actually just going to be kind of drawing up here a couple of steps, because there's actually studies that have been done by professors. There's people who are high achievers, whether it's an Olympian, business person, somebody who is in the top 1% of their career fields or whatever they're good at. And studies have shown that if you take these different steps, there's a common thread between them, that when you apply these things, your odds of achieving them and being one of the top achievers dramatically goes up. So I encourage you all to take out your cell phones if you'd like. Otherwise, if you have pen and paper, take notes, because this is going to be something that you can follow along with. So everybody take out your cell phone, open up the Notes app. I'll give you a couple seconds for that. Okay, so the first thing, step one, is a reward. That's what most people only get to step one. What is it that you want? So everybody write down one. Write down your reward. What is it that you want to achieve? Is it income? Is it time with your family? You want to spend more time this year? Is it a number of books you want to read? Write down what your reward is this year for 2019. Step two is measure. You can't just say, I want to make more money. I want to read more books. I want to spend more time with my family. How you achieve those goals is you put quantity on it. You actually put a unit of measurement. If it's time with your family, you want to say, I want to put an hour a week extra than what I've been doing with my family. I want to spend an hour throwing baseballs with my kid. If it's money, I want to make an extra $10,000 this year doing freelance websites, doing UX. I want to help 5 startups or nonprofits with UX without being paid. You can have multiple goals. I want to read 5 books, 12 books. That's how you measure. Step 3 is timeline. So since we're talking about New Year's resolutions, this goal is pretty simple. It's going to be 1 year, right? But then you have to break it up. What about month? What about week? So we all know that this is our New Year's resolution, but divide that number that you're measuring. Let's say it's 12 books. That's 1 book a month. How many pages is that a week? How many pages a day? How much time spent? If it's money, you want to make 10 grand, you have to figure out, what do you charge per website? Let's say it's $5,000. That means 2 websites. How many phone calls will that take, right? Time. Number 4, groundwork. This is setting yourself up for success. If we're using the website example, how many phone calls do you have to make? How many meetups do you have to go to meet those people that will become prospects? How many phone calls? And then apply that groundwork to the timeline. How many hands do I have to shake? How many conversations? How many phone calls? How many interviews if you want to get a job? How many people? How many resumes do I have to send out? It's like Fred and Christy told us in career development. It's a numbers game. It's a funnel. You might send out 200 resumes, get 20 interviews, which will lead to 1 job. It's the same thing for every other goal. If it's books, maybe you have to buy the books ahead of time, because if you don't have the books to read, you're not going to read them. Number 5, accountability. Now this one is what's going to really help you when you're struggling to meet those goals. If you're falling behind in your timeline, if you're saying, oh, I was supposed to read 1 book a month and I skipped December because it was just so busy with family and friends. Now you're feeling behind, now you're feeling rushed, and that's the slow decline towards not making your goal. Because then you feel like you have to read 2 in January, or 3 in February if you miss that too. So accountability is, who in your life can you write down that is someone who can help you keep you accountable? And how are they gonna know if you're on track for your timeline, for your measure, right? Is it your spouse, your husband, your wife? Is it your coworkers? Is it a mentor, your parents, maybe your sibling? For me, this weekend I'm meeting with my brother who is way younger than me, but he's keeping me accountable towards my goals. And finally, number 6, give. How can you give back? If you're reading, maybe you want to teach somebody else something that you read. Maybe you want to help kids to read, so that way they can achieve that same goal someday. You want other people to help in your goals because it gives you external motivation. If it's time, maybe you can help not just yourself have more time with your kids, but you want to have your spouse, help free up some time for your spouse to have that. If it's an income goal, maybe you want to, out of that $10,000, you want to give $1,000 to Prime Academy for a scholarship. And you say, I want somebody who is in my situation, who might have struggled to come up with tuition, or had, they put food on the table for their kids while attending, and you can help give 10% of that, right? You can give $1,000 for a scholarship for Prime. Something that can externally motivate you. I hope that these lessons help you guys in achieving your goals in 2019. Thank you.